This is Too Long for a Voice Note, a podcast about everything and nothing at the same time, presented by Claire
and Enzo. Our podcast is produced in London. Some conversations are just too long for a voice note.
Hey, she's Claire.
And he's Enzo.
This is Too Long for a Voice Note.
Hello!
Hello everyone!
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of our podcast. Before we start, remember to
subscribe, like, share, and
comment.
As I say very many times already.
Here we go.
Can we please? Here we go. Like, comment. I mean, for example, we have our dearest friend Nora. She always comments.
Nora,
Hi Nora,
so
thank you for always
cute.
commenting.
Yeah.
You should follow Nora Footsteps.
Yes.
Footsteps. Like
Yes,
commenting,
exactly. Comment.
loving, giving us back.
Liking, feedback.
No, guys, but thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone that's always supporting. But please remember to do these little things.
And the thing on the
I think that I love.
yeah, the thing you
Spotify.
love,
So
yeah.
if you're on Spotify, you can just like move.
Swipe, basically. Yeah.
You're gonna get 5 stars. And yeah, also Apple, whatever you listen to. Also, like if you listen if you're not watching on YouTube, but some of you maybe they don't know, but when you're listening on Spotify, now the video is also on Spotify. It's been for a while, but I think for some people that
people are loving that. I think.
Yeah, because you can like if you're listening to Spotify, but you want to watch for a minute or something or check whatever, you can just open the app and it's gonna be the video there on Spotify as well.
So you don't faces.
Yes, so you have to be only on YouTube, also on Spotify now. So there you go.
But yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
So how was your last couple of weeks?
Yes, it's true because we haven't filmed like in 2 weeks,
Yeah,
right?
in a
Sorry
couple of
guys for
weeks.
this little break. We were sharing like some reactions. So maybe if you're into reactions, you watch them. If not, well, they're there.
And we're always uploading like daily on Instagram, we're on TikTok, everywhere. So you know you can. If you ever miss us, we're somewhere. So don't panic.
People are like, we don't.
We never do. It's like
everywhere.
Please let me breathe, for God's sake.
No, it's been fine. I went last week, 2 weeks ago, I went to Seville. I went to meet my friend Genesis. We haven't seen each other for like probably almost 3 years because it was pandemic, then something else.
Yeah.
So finally we met in Seville. We have like a really great time there. I love Seville. Definitely if you are thinking about a holiday destination, Seville is really, really, really good because it's really warm. I mean, bear in mind, like it was 35 degrees one day 2 weeks ago. So it gets hot, but in this time of the year, because it's still springy, so the air is fresh, so you don't get like, oh my God, I'm dying. On summertime, I don't think it's good to go to Seville because it's like 50 degrees and you're gonna die.
Yeah.
But this is a good time in autumn, I bet as well. It's very like, everything is very affordable. The food, it's amazing. Even I think if you're a vegan also, you have a lot of options.
Okay.
Because you have a lot of vegetables and things like that. Better than in Lisbon. I think in Lisbon it was a bit of a struggle for poor Clarita. She was eating like olives and bread with olive oil as well all the time for like 4 days in a row. I think in Seville you have more options, even though it's very meaty, very meaty oriented, but more options.
Yeah.
Also, like if you're, I don't know, vegetarian, you have a lot of
like
options.
salads and stuff
Salads,
like that.
and also have a lot of seafood, of course.
Yeah.
No, it's really good, really beautiful. I really have a great time taking a lot of beautiful photos.
It looks very aesthetic and very beautiful.
Very clean.
And, yeah.
I really like it. So it's a good destination. It's not a lot of money. It's very beautiful, peaceful, but still very traditional.
Yeah.
At the core.
You
so
saw
that's
some
nice.
flamenco and stuff, right?
Yeah, like you go to like the main square of Seville. There's like a free flamenco show, so you can watch them dancing, and it's amazing. Then you can have like a restaurant, go for like a private show, not private show, like a
like
night.
an actual,
But you can get not hilarious, but in the sense of like you're on the street and you will see like a flamenco dancer, and like
La Rosalia,
very La Rosalia energy. And it's gonna be like the guy playing, you know, it's all like, and that's in the middle of the city, so you feel like you actually in the place where you know all of this tradition.
Sounds amazing.
Very
Very
flamenco, very like it's amazing. I really like it.
It look beautiful.
Really beautiful.
Super.
And you have you haven't been anywhere yet, but you have a
I'm
trip
going
coming
to
up,
I'm going to Ibiza.
Ibiza.
But it's going to be more of a chill holiday because I've heard that it's like a really beautiful island and like, you know, that it's very kind of like, it can be, obviously it's really well known for like the party scene, but it can be very beautiful and like relaxed. And yeah, I've never been, have you ever been to like those?
No, I've never been to Ibiza, no.
So nice.
I heard like it's so beautiful. It could be like wild party or like peaceful.
Super relaxed.
Yes, super relaxed.
So we're going for the relaxed option.
Amazing.
I can't wait.
You go for how many days?
3 days.
I think that's a good number for like a short
it'll be warm
trip.
And
I'm sure it's going to be warm.
But it's so nice that we can travel again more freely. Like, I'm so grateful for that. We've both got trips coming up. So, guys, in the comments, tell us what your summer travel plans are. We'd love to hear, or anywhere that we should go or anything like that.
Definitely.
But it's really nice that it's a bit easier and you don't have to worry about like the testing and all of that.
Yeah,
and
definitely. I mean, if you live in Europe, for sure, it's easier now because, well, I think everywhere now, I think all the restrictions are kind of skipped. But if you're traveling inside your region, it's easier because there's not a lot of regulations.
For sure.
But yeah.
I think it's time for our episode, right?
I think it's my week, right?
Your week, yeah.
Yes, I'm ready. I have a topic ready.
Okay.
So,
time for
Enzo's secret topic of the week.
So, Clarita, this topic is a topic I think we have talked about this before, obviously. But it's something I would like to discuss with you. It's related to female body nudity and exposure of the female body.
Oh, cool.
And I have a question. I'm going to put you on the spot here to start. But I'm going to say like this to give you like a context of why this topic came to me is because recently, if you follow her or not, or you have seen like, we have all this drama still with Britney Spears. And you know, like lately she's been posting a lot of photos of her naked on Instagram, just covering her like her boobs and her like vagina with like a heart or something. And it's created like a lot of controversy around it because a lot of people are criticizing her. So there's a lot of sides to it that people are saying like, what the fuck? Like she's acting like a crazy woman. Why she's naked on Instagram like that? Why the photos are like this? Why they're not tasteful? Why she's doing this? And questioning her reasons why. Because of course she's Britney Spears, she's a figure, she's famous, so obviously she's going to be questioned from a different level than, let's say, a regular person. And then we have from the other side, we have like the whole thing with Lizzo, which has been for a long time, a lot of people having issues with her showing her body like as much as she wants because she's like a curvy woman with like, so she's like showing her body as she is, like as much as she wants. A lot of people has an issue with that. So I think all of that, it's kind of like, it's the same topic from a different 2 points of view. And I want to ask you like, for you, have you encountered yourself or have you felt like yourself really difficult to share photos of yourself showing a lot of skin on Instagram? Let's talk about social media because it's exposure we have. Have you felt like, how's been your experience? Do you feel comfortable? Why you don't feel comfortable? Or if you feel comfortable, the reasons why? Like how you experience, even if it's like, because of course you don't have like naked pictures on Instagram because it's not your style, you don't do that because for whatever, but when it's something that maybe you're showing more skin, how you felt and what was like the experience for you in that sense?
Yeah, very interesting. I definitely would. I've thought about this quite a lot because especially taking Instagram into account, like I get extremely, like Enzo knows this really well, like extremely nervous about posting on Instagram. And I think that part of it, especially when it's pictures of me, I have a lot of actual anxiety around sharing on Instagram that it sounds ridiculous because it sounds like, oh my God, social media anxiety, but it is actually like a thing because Instagram is a big part of our life.
Makes you feel that way.
And it's like nothing, like I'm fine about if I share like a picture of like a sunset, but when it is something about me, I get really, really nervous. But I sometimes like to share things which are showing, for example, a bit more skin. Which in my case would be like my abs or something like that. I don't choose to like, I wouldn't, not that I'm throwing any shade at somebody like Brittany, you want to be completely naked, but or like a bikini pic, say that's something I could share. But I would really think about that a lot. And I think it's just like the typical, it's just like a double standard thing, isn't it? Like completely that men, I don't think, but I don't know, we can maybe talk about that in a bit, but I don't think that men would have the same fear connected to like sharing a picture in like their swimming trunks, for example, that a woman would have sharing a picture in their bikini, because there's so many elements to it for a woman. I think some things that would go through my mind is like, it wouldn't even be things like, does my body look good or anything like that. It will be like, what will people think? And I would be like, and that's always, when I think about why am I nervous about sharing things on Instagram, that's the crutch of it always. It's always, will people think I'm that kind of girl,
whatever that
means, or will somebody think I'm trying to get male attention or something like that? But really I could just love the bikini or something like that, but
you love how you look.
I don't feel free to post things that easily on Instagram in that kind of way. It would have a lot of thought for me.
So probably like, yeah, I gather like the reason like you don't feel free about it is because like judgment, right? Like judgment about like, do you think it's more about like how you look like, or more like what people will think as you, as like if you are respectful enough, if you are respected of like, you know what I mean?
It's more about, it's kind of a bit, I would think that people would be wondering, who does she think she is? Oh, I bet she thinks she looks really good, which is fine. I could be like, yeah, I think I do look really good. But that is not as easy as that, you know?
Yeah, it's another thing,
Or it would be like, oh, does she look a bit, do I look a bit slutty?
Yeah.
Is she trying to get somebody's attention? Or like, oh really? Like, I didn't think she was that kind of girl. I thought she was like, I thought Claire was like, this is awful, this is so toxic, because it would be these kinds of thoughts. Like, I thought Claire was like intelligent, and I thought Claire wouldn't, but it's really not like that
it doesn't have anything to do with that,
at all. But these are the kinds of things that I think hold me back from sharing more stuff.
Definitely, that's what women.
And I'm sure all women will think that.
Most of women probably will feel like that. Yeah. It's a lot. Yeah. I mean, I understand that because, you know, I mean, especially we have a lot of female friends and we talk about these things a lot. And I think it's very crazy how like women has to like create for themselves, not create for themselves, but like question themselves so much about all these weird standards that people create about them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like concepts, standards, and like ideas that are not coming from you; they're just coming from outside. Because they're judging you all the time. You need to like address them because they're part of their reality as a woman in society.
Exactly.
Which is very
and
fucked up.
It's also about like policing women's bodies. Thing. Like it's that thing of like, no, I get to dictate what you do with your body. I get to dictate when and where and how you show it. How dare you take ownership of your body on your Instagram? Like, for example, the Instagram censorship. Like, it's okay, for example, for like a straight man, there's that horrible account, we talked about it in another episode in relation to porn, because of Erica Lust, the female filmmaker. She's always talked about this double standard between, like, there's this guy, he's like this, like, he always puts like really like disrespectful pictures of women on his Instagram where they're like naked, like they'll be like bending over with like a champagne glass coming out of their arse, and he's like fully clothed, and he never gets has the censorship. And she'll be making like feminist porn films which are way more like tasteful and like respectful to the woman, but her post will get blocked. And it's that kind of thing. It's like, how you can only show women in a way that serves us. And it's also that thing of like, we don't like it when a woman feels comfortable enough in her own skin. Like Lizzo, for example, you know, people don't like that she doesn't have the standard ideal view of beauty that we have created in the West, and we don't like that she's like, and I'm sure that comes at a cost for her. I'm sure it doesn't come easy for her to be like, actually fuck you, because I'm sure she gets a lot of trolls and bullying, and it's probably horrible, like, poor woman. But it's that kind of thing, I think.
I think the Lizzo thing, which has happened, like, it's happening for a long time. Since she's very popular, like, I don't know, 2-3 years ago. Because I listened to interviews with her talking about this. I found it really like crazy fascinating, the amount of hate, discomfort, and opinion she's always subjected to or creating around her just because she's showing her body. You know what I mean? And it's not even naked. It's like she's wearing like a, you know what I mean? It's like wearing a bra and like a panties. Like you can wear the same as at the beach, for example. You know, it's not like she's not even naked all the time. You know what I mean? But the thing is, like, the fact that she is doing that and she's so comfortable doing it, it creates so much noise for some people. They cannot like handle the fact that a woman that is not within the cliche standards of beauty is feeling so good. And I listened to some of her interviews and she discussed a lot about it. Like, it's crazy how people has a problem that I'm happy with myself, but she said, this is not being like, oh, I'm fake happy. No, I've been working on that. It's been years of work for me to get to this point to loving myself, because since I'm a kid, I've been telling that you are bad, you are wrong, you're not beautiful, you're not deserving, right? Like, you are not what's good. On top of everything, she's a black woman. So can you imagine? It's another layer of, for her, there is not only her body, is that she's a black woman. She comes from a really like poor background as well. You know, it's a lot of layers there. But she said it took me years of my life to get to a point that now I understand that I love my body 100%, and I can have insecurities on anyone else, but I love it. And how crazy it is, like me loving myself creates hate on other people.
Because
right?
People always say like, oh, just love yourself. Just love yourself. Just know you're beautiful.
Yeah.
But that's not true, because people don't want you to love yourself, because they can't sell you shit. Because then when a woman loves herself, like Lizzo, it's like, who the fuck does she think she is?
Yeah.
Or if it's a more typically standardly someone, I don't know, I find like Gal Gadot really beautiful. Then it's like, oh, she's really arrogant if she says she's really beautiful and she's comfortable in her own skin, because she's classically what we might think of as like attractive. And it's just like, you know what? We can't win. We can never win. If we do this, we do that, we're wrong. If we show our skin, if we cover up like a nun, then it's that. You can't win, so you may as well just do whatever the hell you want. Like a you know? Because whatever way, you're going to be criticised, and that's kind of what I've learnt a bit. I think that you're never gonna please everyone. Someone is always going to have a problem with your Instagram content. Someone is always going to have a problem with like the way that you conduct your life, or blah 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 blah.
It's kind of interesting, because I feel like if you as a woman, you fit the stereotypical idea of beauty and you expose yourself, people will think like, oh, who she thinks she is, that's a slutty, she's showing so much, who she's trying to attract. But then if you don't fit that like mold kind of thing, then also it's who you think you are, right? It's like, why she's this typical thing, like she doesn't have the body to do that.
Exactly.
And it's kind of like, and then who has the body according to society to show, or who, in which context it's good for you, for some people, to have a woman embracing their body as they are? Is that because always when they do it, it's because they're selling something, or they're serving some purpose? But like, it's strange. Like, there's no, when is the right moment then to love your body, to show who you are? It's only when it's like on the terms and conditions of the man,
of somebody else,
or somebody else. So I feel like so like, wow, it's mental. I feel like so strange.
And it's the same with sexuality, that we've spoken about this in other episodes as well. Like, it's like why Cardi B got so much hate for that. What's it called? WAP. It's like, how dare a woman come out and say that she's sexual and she likes all of that, because it's not on somebody else's terms, it's on her terms. How dare she? She's like, there are words for women like that. And it's like, what the fuck? It's just, again, another kind of like branch of the same problem, that it's like women, it's like patriarchy, and it's men having had the power, and then men being scared, because if women get too like big for their boots and they don't need them, which is what is happening and like shifting now, I think. Definitely. But I really do think that it doesn't come at a cost for people like Lizzo or someone like Jamila. You know, I'm sure that comes at a cost for her as well, being so outspoken about stuff. And
I feel like it's so damaging as well for like your self reassurance and your as a woman, because if you're having always to think, it always come to your mind that someone will criticize you in some separate kind of way. And obviously we're talking about something that Instagram that seems to be very like, oh, it's social media's internet, is not that deep, which it is, but we think it can be not, because it's like, oh well, you can just close your Instagram account, that's fine. But in real life, this applies the same. Like, I feel like women needs to have so many psychological pressures about how they look and how they present themselves, that it must affect every single aspect of your life in that sense. And it's just because the view of someone else. I think it's for me, it's like, wow. I mean, it's like, what the fuck?
It comes with, there's quite like a very real reason for it as well, because I think when you were talking, I was thinking like, okay, because say I think about how I portray myself on Instagram and not showing too much skin or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I also think that's a thing in real life. You think about women, think about what they wear and how much they're covering up and all of that. And I think that probably a lot of women, I mean, for me, I can't really speak for anyone else, but I often just like cover up just because I don't really want the aggro. I don't want the attention. I don't want to be like, I live in central London. Like, if I go out in like a really short skirt, not to like whatever, but I will get catcalled or people out of a van or guys stopping, and I don't really want the aggro. I just want to like live my life, mind my own business, see my friends.
Yeah.
But that's something that I don't think men will really have to consider. But you do really,
definitely.
and also like, am I going to be alone? Okay, I'm going to be alone. I'm going to be wearing a short skirt. What if? That is you don't really think that, but you do. You carry that.
It's there
you
always.
know?
Yeah. I was thinking about the cat. I was forgetting
Catcalling.
Catcalling. About the catcalling. It's crazy because yesterday I was passing by in front of the overground Upper Holloway Road or Holloway Road. I forgot the name now of the overground station. It's like like the tube and the TFL has a lot of like a new campaign about like don't look at people, harassment, blah blah blah, and have like a big one outside the station about catcalling. Like catcalling is harassment, blah 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 blah, and it was outside the station even. So when you pass the station, you will see it, and it's kind of like. Wow, like we are in 2022 and we're in theory like in a city like London, like it's open and you will say all these things you can say about London, and still we have like a poster or saying like catcalling is harassment, don't catcalling to women. It's kind of like, oh my god, it kind of like when you say about catcalling, it came this because when I passed yesterday there I was like, wow, fuck. Because like because it was outside, I was like, okay, wow, a lot. But it just it's there, but I didn't think a lot about it. But now that you say that, it's like, yeah, of course, because it's so common that happen. It's crazy that we still need to have this conversation in this day and age. Going back to the Britney thing, I think to kind of wrap up all of this thing, I think it's an interesting topic again because I think you can be divided about your opinion on it, but I feel like a lot of people are really like. Affected is not a word, but like maybe it create a reaction on people the way she's portraying herself on social media, which if you don't know the background, you'll be like, oh, why this superstar is doing that? But if you know the background, you know, well, Britney was like in a conservatorship or something like that. Yeah, basically she was not free. Everything was regulated by the parents, the family, blah blah blah. Anyway, she's free now. She's on her Instagram, and since that happened, she's like 100% free to do whatever she wants, and she do it like very like however she wants to do it. For a lot of people, her actions are a bit like she's crazy. She's a bit unhinged. Obviously, because comes from a background that she has like some mental health issues. So it's gonna come from that as well. But the way she's portraying herself, people went to think like, oh, she's fucking crazy because she's posting pictures of herself naked as there's no tomorrow on Instagram. And what I find interesting, and this goes also like how we portray things, and at the end it's the same, like, because if this photo were taken by a professional photographer, will you think the same?
I get you.
And that's I was thinking because I was like,
that's a good point.
Because I didn't know when I was showing the pictures, I was like, it's not like I have a problem with them, but if I think too much about it, it's like I like them or not. I may say like I don't like them because they're a bit low quality, you know.
They are a bit weird.
A bit weird. Yeah. It has a weird vibe, but it's you know, like I think she doesn't even have the latest iPhone, let's be real. It's a bit like blurry, kinda like quality, but
weird,
it's like but it's like a personal account, you know. But it's not what I expect of you for a celebrity, which is our topic. It's very like she's not a celebrity. She's living her life in her own terms, whatever she wants to.
Yeah, totally.
Which I think is something that we shouldn't criticize. Like it's a fucking account. If you don't like it, don't follow her. I mean, I like her overall, but I don't follow her. I just see the things she posts everywhere and the reactions from people, and I feel like. But what if this photo were taken by a photographer? Or what if the boyfriend was a photographer? We're taking photos of her naked all the time at her house with a professional camera. So it doesn't come like her doing it. You know what I mean? I wonder if the problem is like her taking the ownership of this. It's like, I'm going to take a photo of myself because I want to post them naked.
I get you.
And it's not because it's something bigger behind, because it's not like a artistic thing.
That's the thing, because I was going to say like somebody like that we really love, like Dua Lipa, she does that. I'm sure they're very edited, but she does that kind of like candid, like she's a queen of like ha ha ha, here I am on holiday, blurry, I've taken them myself and up, like we don't know, but let's say she's giving that impression of with that. Britney's kind of doing that same kind of thing of just like, I mean, they're not as beautiful as Dua does them, but like that's a kind of thing, you know?
You're so right.
And it why is it that it's, I think there's also something a bit sad about, because there's not sad about Britney, but like there is that thing of like, if that was Dua doing that naked, everyone would probably be going wild for it.
That's the
thing. I think there's that thing of a bit like pity Britney
Yeah.
thing, and I think that's something separate of like,
Separate.
oh, is she
Could be
okay?
separate, yeah.
Whereas Lizzo, I feel like people would have a reaction, but they wouldn't really pity her.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh wow, Lizzo
Oh,
again, but
she's-
because she
yeah,
could
yeah.
really do that kind
Yeah,
of,
she could do
or like
that, yeah.
Riri doing that.
Yeah,
Like everyone
yeah,
would go fucking
exactly.
wild. So it's
Yeah.
kind of, I think there's that, but I think of course it's always gonna get more of a reaction.
I just feel like the judgment for her. I feel like,
Yeah.
you know, like for example, like I'm 100% sure if a man will do that, any other actor, people will be like, ha ha ha, he's funny. You know, oh, ha ha ha. You know
yeah,
what I
like,
mean?
oh my god, he's so hot.
Oh,
or
oh my
something,
god,
like, if
he's
the
so
hot
hot.
guy,
If
like
he's
that.
whatever. Hot.
Yeah, because
some-
literally, like Michele always posts fucking shirtless pictures. Not mad about it at all, but
Yeah.
like we don't have this conversation. It's just normal. He's at the beach, but
and
is
sometimes
that
he looks unhinged.
He
It's
bloody
like,
looks unhinged.
That picture of him on shirtless, weird vibes. Is like,
Oh, we don't need to know like what's going on with you. And in fact,
If
we
we go
laugh.
there,
Like we are
we
always
laugh.
a bit
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, what is going on with you? To be
it's
fair.
true, but there's not
But
a
it's not the
conversation.
same. It's like,
Yeah.
oh wow, he's a really fit looking guy. He's
Yeah.
got his shirt off at the beach. Fine. That wouldn't be the same for like
Yeah.
someone else.
For,
you know?
yeah. I just find very interesting because I think it's very divided how people react, and obviously Britney has more layers, but I think it's connected to how women, when they are too free, or like for some people too
Yeah.
free or really free to show themselves as they are, unfiltered, we have an issue with that because women has
Yeah.
to be free into some conditions or standards that we create, that you can be free but not that free. You know,
Totally.
that's my point of view of
You
it.
can love yourself, but you're not too much.
Not too much. If you're loving yourself too much, it's like, well, who do you think you are?
Exactly. It's so like,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you think about when you don't post that much about yourself on your Instagram,
No.
but when you post a picture of yourself, do you deliberate like, do I look slutty or do I
No,
look?
never.
Is my outfit too
No,
whatever
never.
or like? Do you know what I mean? Or
And-
like,
and
am I
if-
giving a vibe?
No, because for example, if I think like if it's a photo like it's a bit like posy, I will just send it to you, will laugh with you,
Yeah, it's
like
true.
haha, this is hilarious. Like who do you think I am? But I will post it because I will not care. I will
Yeah.
never think, and that's mental about this topic. I will never think like, oh, what people will think about me? Would I be judged? People will think like I'm a bit over my head. Or
Yeah.
people will think like I'm this.
Or, like,
I will
looking for
never
something, or, like,
and it's
yeah.
not something me. That's probably most of men.
Yeah.
They will never get to that point to think what I'm representing here. Would I give the wrong message? Because that's not our case. And that's fucking mental that women is the other side of it. Like, I will never need to think about that.
And I wouldn't dream of posting like a bikini picture without checking it with you or friends
Exactly.
first. I would never do that.
Yeah.
I would never not be like, Enzo,
Yeah.
do you think this that's a conversation that
Yeah.
we will have.
Yeah, yeah,
Is this
yeah.
okay? Do you think this is like too much? Do you think this is
Yeah.
showing, what do you think people will, why?
And it's
Like honestly.
Also, like, to kind of, well, I think we need to wrap up this topic soon. We can go on and on forever, but I feel for men, there's another layer of it. We could be a different conversation. And I think what's something that social media did a lot for men, that normally the men that are showing their bodies on Instagram are men that have very like muscle body, very like
Bradley,
Michele or very
Michele,
Bradley.
yeah.
You don't see like, which it could be a problem as well. It is a problem from the other side, from men as well. Like, if you don't have a great body, which is basically have her muscles,
Yeah.
normally you wouldn't post a photo shirtless on Instagram.
True.
It's very, very,
True.
very, very weird to see a photo of a guy that has no muscle on Instagram.
Yeah, that's completely,
And maybe
yeah.
then I will think, maybe I wouldn't maybe post a photo of myself on the beach shirtless because it's like, I don't have all those muscles, so it's like,
Really?
But that's a man thing as well. Men normally don't expose themselves because as a man, you don't show your body. You know where I'm going with
I get
this.
you, because
Like for men, that's not even a
why-
conversation.
Yeah.
Even
yeah.
with my male friends,
Yeah.
family members are male. Any, I can tell you that you won't find any picture of them shirtless on the beach.
Yeah.
It's not, unless it's like in a group having fun or whatever. But by yourself, maybe having a great time, or you need to have a great body, or you have to be gay.
Unless they're like shredded, for
shredded.
example, you know.
Shredded, yeah. You
Or
need
like
to-
they know they look good.
or they know they
something
look
like
good. But you
that.
know, it's that, and that's another whole conversation there.
Well, yeah.
Which is very
Male body
interesting.
image.
And how like, but I wonder because men, and a lot of men maybe they think like they wouldn't post the photo because that's not allowed for men to do it because that's what women does because they're more like they care more about how they look and the aesthetics.
But do you
and
think
things,
it's more
and
about body standards for men rather than like Because I think maybe some men would be like, oh, I don't know, I've got a bit of a tummy. I don't know if I really want to post this picture. But I know what you're saying as well. It's like, oh, is it a bit like whatever? Or is it like a bit camp to post?
Yeah,
like,
I think if you're a straight man,
yeah,
it's a bit difficult for you to post a photo of yourself shirtless by yourself. Unless you're like a celebrity. Celebrities, they do it. That's very funny because celebrities, they don't give a fucking shit.
Yeah.
Men celebrities, if they're hot and they have the muscle body and all these kind of things, they will post fit pictures and there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
But by fact, I have friends that they can have like a muscle body and they won't show it that much. If they're gay, yes, which is another topic. If they're gay, yes, because I think they're more free of like whatever.
Yeah.
But straight men, they don't do it.
Gosh.
It's very, very, very difficult to see it.
That because
very difficult to see it.
But it's funny because, you know, like on Hinge,
Yeah.
there's a lot of straight men with shirtless pictures.
On Hinge.
True.
Because they know.
They
know. But they wouldn't do it probably in their Instagram, maybe.
Some of them are on their Instagram.
Well, that's interesting.
But I'm always a bit like, it actually puts me off when I see a shirtless. Because I think, here comes a fuckboy. When I see...
How interesting is that?
Here comes a fuck... Sometimes, don't get me wrong, I will fall for the shirtless sometimes. I'm like, depends on the mood. But sometimes I think, oh no, fuckboy.
Very interesting. Like,
I'll be like, nah, you're not serious.
So yeah, like if a man is showing his body, it's not serious. But then that would be applied the same for women if you apply even the same thing.
Totally, but I wouldn't have a bikini picture on my Hinge.
Interesting.
And there's the internalized judgment. Because why wouldn't I put... Why? I love the beach. I love the beach. It's like one of my favourite things in the world. That shows my personality. I love being in a bikini in the beach. But I would never do that. Ever.
Quite interesting.
Because I would be like, what kind of a man would I be attracting? What kind of impression, what I would want to be giving or something like that.
Well, guys, we're going to leave you with those deep thoughts about that. I will think about it as well. I think...
Next week when I'm in Ibiza, I'm literally like, bikini shop, bikini
fuck
shop.
Everyone.
Fuck you.
All the things going to be...
And they'll be like, Claire, delete. It's not good, not good.
Claire, it's been like 15 photos on your feed. I mean, I'm glad that you feel empowered of the conversation we had, but, you know...
It's like, can we please post something else? It's literally bikini pictures.
Can you post like a photo of like, I don't know, like a dish or something? Thank you. No, yeah. So, Clarita, you got... 60 seconds to, if you have some final thoughts about any angle of this interesting topic. Okay. So, are you ready? Well, you have ready. The timer, so you click on your own timer, ready? Right? So, go.
Okay. Super interesting topic that I think we can go round and round to. I think I'd really like to talk more about male body image because I think that's something that we haven't really covered, and I think I'd like to... I actually feel like... I think maybe it's time for us to start having guests on. That's something that we would like to do. But I would love to have a conversation with like a decent straight man. A decent straight man. Is that possible to find? If we can find one. If you know one, send the number. Send. And talk about that kind of thing because I think that side of it is super interesting. Definitely. I think I want to challenge myself more to look at the way that I am not judging myself and judging other girls, women on Instagram for the way that they portray their body. I think that, again, it's like nothing really that we've spoken about has been like a surprise to me, to be honest. It's nothing new because we know that like women's bodies are policed all the time. But it's there. But it is there, and it's kind of a good reminder to us all. To just we have a sound. It's a sound. Wasn't expecting that. Yeah. But yeah, a good reminder to just feel like if I have a daughter, I would say, just do whatever the hell you want to do because somebody's not going to like it anyway. Just as long as you're being good to people and you're being a good person and you have a good heart and you're not hurting anyone and you're being careful as well. That's what I would say. 100%. Because you're never going to please everyone. True. And that's it. Mike, very interesting thoughts. Did you have anything else to say, Antita? No, I think it's fine for today. For today. I think it's a really, really long topic, but I think we covered some interesting things. I would like to know if all the women that listen to our podcast, why if you have an experience or you have felt something. I don't know. I'm very curious about the topic. I think it's like very like fucked up. Yeah. How this works in ways on the judgment and the ideas we have on someone else's body. It's kind of like, wow. Yeah, like why? Yeah, definitely. Like social media definitely like changed this in a big way. It did. It really did. So, for sure. Well, anyway, guys, thank you very much, guys. Yeah. And we'll see you next week. Bye. Bye.